Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this September the 2nd, 2025. New record high emergency and a special broadcast here as we went over yesterday extensively and in a post I made that you can read when I made calls for the gold bullion and silver bullion. Gold bullion has now hit our call. It has hit our targeted move of $3,522. Our $3,500 call has been filled. We made that target in April of 2020 when gold bullion per ounce was at $1,650. It's up 2.19% or $75 an ounce today to 35.21, a record high. Silver bullion at the same time in 2021 in April, it was at $16.50, 60, 70 cents in that area. We made a $50 call. It is now at $40.78, up nearly 3% today. It was up 2% yesterday. It's at nearly 15, 14 and a half year high right now. And we expect that to get to 50. And now that gold bullion has hit our $3,500 call, which was a 110% move from where it was at. It's going to $5,000 next. Silver, once it hits 50, will go to 75. B2 gold is now on the move. It's up 95% this year. It's going to end up being at $10 or $12 before you know it. Kinross gold used to be at $3.50 24 months ago when we were buying. We had a $32 target. Its all-time high. It's now at 21.37. Fortuna Silver and First Majestic are the next ones that will skyrocket. First Majestic will go to its all-time high at $25. Fortuna will break its all-time high of about $10. Pan America Silver will go to 50 and then 100. Barrick Gold's on its way to 50. Hecla Mining is on its way to 15. And I can't stress this enough. You need to be in gold and silver bullion and mining stocks. I made those calls 5.5 years ago, and I have been accumulating and I've been accumulating mad. And on this account, you can see today now, we've accumulated so much now that 2% equals $1,000. And then I have about $3,000 on another site where I have more of the same on Cash App of the same coins, right? So you can see our position on this one is up 73%. Out of that, $28,000. And out of this one, we're killing it too. It's up $1,000 today in that account. And or yeah, it's up $1,000 total today. So it's been a very, very good day. It's been an exciting day. Um, and that's the reason that we've been slowly, and I'm sorry, I was kind of malarking around, but I got to actually get this moving because I got to this video late. But it's very important, and that call, and I'm very happy and of a personal achievement that that call that I made actually did happen, and something that I did want to show you before we get into the Bitcoin price, because I can run through that very quickly. That's just normal technical stuff. You can see right here, here's the post I did, right? Oh, that was 3 weeks ago. The post I did today, sorry, it doesn't let me turn this the other way, it was right here. And you can see some of these Vincenzo's gold and silver track record. Kinross gold, 24.49, up 699% since March 2022. B2 gold up 90% year to date. It's actually 95% year to date now. First Majestic silver, 133% since February of 2024. Or Fortuna Silver Mines, 198% up since February 2024. Pan America Silver, that's supposed to be PAS, 179% year to date. Barrick Gold, $27.11, up 108% since 2022. And these are all just getting started. And it's very exciting because a lot of people on here are only here for the crypto, and a lot of people wanted to say that those prices would never be hit back in when I made that call in 2022. We can see the Bitcoin price did have a nice rebound over the weekend. And if we go into the 4 hour time frame, and you can see going into the holiday weekend, it took option A. We were down here going into the holiday weekend, and you can see it's fought its way back. And now it's going to try to back test this. And the critical thing now is on the back test, do you get a confirmation on a rejection? Or do you get back above that 110,000 and change that you're slightly above right now? And then actually ride along and then punch into it and then stay just along or just above the 50-day moving average back in this 3.5 year pattern. That's the critical area that you need to watch in the Bitcoin price in the short term is how does this interact with the 100-day moving average where you're going through now, the 50-day, which is just north of the 3.5 year pattern support and the pattern support itself. And we'll continue to follow that the rest of this week until we get a resolution on what's going to happen. I still think Ethereum, like we had to call the other day, I still think you're coming back down again to retest the 4082 megaphone neckline major support now, which is the 50-day moving average is probably running right on it now if I update it. Nope, it's still just below it, but we'll be running on it. And then obviously below that, if you break it, the 100-day moving average and the top part of that green trading zone at 3483 and 3520 respectively is your major underneath support. If you broke this area of major support on the neckline, megaphone neckline in the 50-day and the daily, then you come back down to your two moving averages that are right next to each other below it. But first, we have to watch. But I am fairly, nothing's 100% sure, but I'm almost 100% sure. In the next couple of days, we're going to come down and tag that as we move along to try to get a few of these coins in. You can see the XLM has had actually a really, really good bounce back from the swing low on the wick down here near the middle part of that green trading zone to the squeeze, the wick high, got to then about a 5% move, now about an 8% move back up. It got rejected by the overhead 100-day moving average. You can see that right there. Let's get rid of this. You can see that's what we drew out over the weekend. You had to do to get bullish. And you can see you got rejected by the overhead 50. You're sitting just, or overhead 100 in blue. You're sitting just below that 36-cent major overhead resistance and support box in green. And then you obviously have the 50-day moving average, which is trailing down. And this is your critical area for XLM. Can you get back on top of this 36 cents? And more importantly, if we zoom into the 3 hour time frame, can you stay on top of this 36 cents of the green support and resistance box and then get above the 100-day moving average and then avert this major collapse that could have took place? But if you break back down into this green trading box and can't get over back on top of it, you're underneath two areas of major support are the 33 and then the 31 cents. If we go into the XRP, it's the same thing, just at a different price level. You can see we did maintain that regional double bottom where you had a bottom one and then the bottom two. You did bounce over the weekend. Right now, you're sitting just above the 100-day moving average at 277. That's what you bounced off of, but you're sitting below, just below a falling 50-day moving average in the Dow, and you can see it's fastly falling now. The 100-day is running parallel, and the 200-day is still uptrending, but you can see it increasingly slowing down in its volume of the uptrend, right? See that I was almost starting to level off just below that $2.55. And this is going to be what you got to watch this week. How does this whole thing play out right here as the overhead 50 starts to slide down? See that the overhead 50 is going to start to slide down like this. The 100-day is going to start to run parallel, and then the price action is going to run in between. And is this going to pop to the upside or is this going to pop to the downside? And that's going to be your playbook this week as the overhead 50 starts to descend and the underneath 100-day moving average continues to squeeze the price. You can see how just the moving averages, if we make a little forecast with our own in-house, in-brain computer model, just looking at the trend lines, the price action, and the daily where we forecast and where we think they would project they would be. And you can see how it would cause a squeezing action this week. Sometime during this week, support resistance is going to have to break to the upside. If XRP breaks to the upside, 307 is your first major resistance. If it breaks to the downside, 255 and the 200-day moving average, it's just below it at 251, is your major underneath support. Like the channel, subscribe. A lot of exciting things with the Fed lowering rates more than likely at the end of the month. The markets are baking that in, and they're going to have an all-out assault on the dollar next year as they have massive rate cuts. Jerome Powell will get removed, and a few other Fed chairmen will get removed as some have been fired, and Trump will fill it up with a bunch of shellackies and shills that only want to please the president and not do what's best for the nation. And they will drastically cut interest rates, drastically rising inflation, and putting a rocket boost into the gold and silver bullion and mining stocks. Peace and love. The Rock's eyebrow, Jay.